Hello viewers, welcome to Core for Any. Today we need to develop here the Flutter taxi app drivers inside. We need to call this here the after completing these rides we need to given this here the rates. First of all, we need to declare here the globe files inside. Need to declare here the API. Need to write down here the static const sv ride rate is equal to write down here the dollars brackets inside the base URL, and we need to give this here the ride rating like this. Need to give this years like this creates. Now we need to find out here the user rides run view. Need to find out here user run ride view. Need to get here and need to comment this here the codes of the opening here the trip details, and also need to declare here the API calls. Need to write down first of all API cancel rides. After need to write here the new API void API submit rate like this. Need to develop yours. First of all, now need to open here the HUD show HUD, and now need to call this here the service call. Use this here the post methods and to pass this here the parameters booking ID is equal to ride object, and to pass this here key as a booking ID, and we need to write down here the toString, and also need this here the rating, and we need to now statically set here the pi toString, and also need to another parameters for the comments, but we not use here the comments, but we need to make API inside. We need to make this here the comment requires that to give this years, and now need to call this here the service name sv key dots. Need to write down here ride rating, and now need to write down here the success block, and also need to first of all need to enable here the token API true, and to write down here the with success blocks and failure block like this here, and need to write down here the semicolons, and to change this here the variables we need to give this here the response object, and we need to call this here the globe dots hide HUD methods need to call also same as here inside the Patel, and to write down here the error, and we need to write here the machines methods both this, and also need to show this here the alerts md show alerts. We need to set here the titles globe dot app names, and to show this here the error message, to string like this. Need to write down here, and then after need to check inside the response. First of all, now need to check here the API status request object, and we need to pass this here the key status equal to 1 in string, and to get here the success. Now need to show here the message. We need to write down here the md show alerts, and to give this here the globe dot app names, and to printing this here the message the response object, and need this here the key for message, and after the OK buttons we need to call here the back buttons, and to call this here the context dot pop methods, and to semicolons like this. Same as now need to copy here and need to write down here the string optionals and to write down msc dot success. Sam is now copy here and to paste this here, set here the file message and remove this here the pop. Now needs here. Like this need to calling here the writes submits, read submits, need to call here and now need to declare here the save here the rates. Need to write down here the double rate value rating well set here by default high and initialize value. Now need to copy here and to find out here the rate pop-up UI. Scroll down and need to get here and first of all need to set here initial rate value and also update times. Need to save this here rate like this here and need to call this here the API rate submit semicolons and also need to give this here the username for these rates. To write object give this here the name property and as string optional double quotes like this. We need to get here set this here and also need to change this here the API calls. Now need to set here rating wells and to string you need to convert here and now need to save this here. Like this need this here the user run writes view. After complete need to show this here the 12 pop-ups and click on OK and then to opening this here and also need to complete after need to two times need to pop the screens need to one time comments because need to give this here the red screens needs that right need to one time pop the screens like this need this here. Now same as now need to copy and to call this here the drivers for driver given rating for the users. Now need to copy here these functions and now need to find out here the run writes view. Need here go first of all home screens and to get this here run write view and now need to find out here the API calls. Need to check here write stops afters need to call here the API paste this here. Now need to declare this here the rate value above declare here the variables double rate value by default need to give this here the 5.0 rates need to set here. Now need to rate value first of all need to rate pop-ups need to find here and to set this here the value set here initialize value rating wells and also updating seers is equal to rating like this declares and also need to comment these lines and to call this here the API call API submit rate all this here the API and also need to change this here the usernames write object brackets inside and to need this here the name property as string optionals like this value need to set this here and also need to make sure here stop after not any pop events need to calling here need to make sure here no any events that is good. Same as now need to check here complete sockets need to showing here change status need this here update status need to write down here set status keep mounted and to set like this here. Now need to open this here the user apps and to run here these projects and also need to another simulators for the driver apps need to run here. First of all need to wait for one apps are the runs and after need to second apps need to run here. Now buildings here the apps. Now app run is done. Now need to runs again for the drivers apps, go runs and to view simulator start similars. Now launching another simulators for this app. Check here's building this app, build done. Now installing and to check this here simulators, and now we need to click on the drivers. This is the drivers apps logins and this simulator user logins. Now need to click on completes and to enter no tools into done and opening here the right complete successfully, and now need to change this here the rates and to submit this years and to get this here thank you for ratings. API calls are the done and also need to get this here the response. See here's and calling this here the API like this. Same as now need to open here the user apps and to give this here the any actions. Tomorrow need to call this here the accept calls API need to calls, but need to now temporary to pop the screens, not API calls. Now need to change here the rates and give this here the 5 stars and to submit this here rates and get this here the thank you for ratings. Need to get this here the okay. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.